Howdy on Wuglex Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Um, so I'm recording from a new headset. Broke my headset this week, which is really unfortunate because I'm not sure I like this new one. I totally picked this one because it was highly recommended. It was like number 2 on the list, and it's the same brand as the one I had before, but wow, is this mic way more sensitive. And um, I I don't know how much background noise it's going to pick up. My old one didn't pick up anything, and this one seems to pick up everything. I was well, okay. So let's start at the beginning of the story, I guess. Uh, so um, Sometimes my old headset would start making popping sounds, and I don't remember exactly what caused it. I know there was a trick to getting it to stop, but I don't remember what that trick is. And so I was trying to remember what the trick was. So I rebooted my computer because I don't turn my computer off very often. In fact, I only turn it off if a game isn't working correctly. Sometimes between Windows and Java, there's some issues with modded Minecraft, and so I will have to reboot my computer to. Where's my wrench? Oh, my poor wrench is broken. Um, so I will have to reboot the PC to make Java friendly again. Not all the time, just some of the time. And so then, right, the one thing I need falls on the ground. We got motorbike. Oop, that did not go on my hotbar. So I was attempting to fix it. Oh, my bike fell over. And so I reboot the computer. I switch because there's a USB sound card that came with it, and so I switched that from one port to another. Didn't fix it. And then I started wiggling the mic arm. So it's one of those headsets where if you move the arm from down to up, it mutes it. Well, that hasn't worked in a long time. And so I thought maybe it was in that, right? And so then ooh, that's a cop. And so then so while I was doing that, the arm broke right where it connects to the headset. So not like the arm broke, the connector on the side of the headset broke in half. And so the back half was still attached to the headset, and the front half was loose, and it was just dangling by a single little cord. And so that's an issue. And so I was trying to. Uh, I was able to push it back together, but of course it wasn't going to stay. And the popping was still there. So I don't know what I did after that, but I the popping eventually stopped, but now I've got a broken headset, right? So I go online and I'm looking to buy a new headset, and this was before. This was Monday. No, this was Wednesday. What day did this happen on? Must have been Wednesday. Um, and so I go online and I'm looking at headsets, and I like the Sennheiser headset that I had. I like it better than the one I've got now, and I should have just ordered the one I've got now again, I guess. Um, so then I can't record because A, the microphone won't stay in place, and B, there's this popping sound. So I just take a couple days off, and so the headset comes today, and this is not the front of my base. Headset comes today, and I'll tell you what, it's a very oh, this is what happened. I remember. So I wasn't sure if the I had connected the AV jacks on the front of my computer. I don't use them because I have the USB sound card, right? And so I just don't use them. And um, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go ahead and try out before I order a new headset if plugging in my old headset without the card works. And so that's when the noise went away. Was when I uh, moved the. Those are ammo parts. When I moved the unplugged the USB headset, our USB. Okay, brain. When I unplugged the USB sound card, there we go. That's the words I want. And I plugged in the AV jacks, the normal, 3.5 jacks, whatever they're called. Plugs, I guess, something. I don't know. That's one I've never really learned the name of, and you'd think you would at this point, but I'm not exactly sure what they're called. 3.5, whatever. I usually call them just headphone jacks, I guess is the problem. But anyways, oh, the eggs are on me. I'm like, where did those eggs go? I was gonna make some bacon and eggs from them. And so, so I do all that, and it works, and the hum goes away. Now this is really funny. The popping goes away. All right. So I remove the USB sound card, and the popping goes away. But the headset's broken, so I have to get a new headset. So I ordered the Sennheiser 600 GSP. It's like top of the line microphone, it claims. I disagree at this point. And it's a different sound because the headset I had before was fake 7.1 and it was open back. And I gotta say, I like the fake 7.1 and open back way better than what I've got now. I've got closed cup stereo, and it does not sound as nice as what I had before. There must be some settings I've got to do to it yet to make it sound better. But I get the new headset today. I don't even remember what I was doing. I know I had a bunch of ammo. And I went out and ran out of fuel. I guess we'll just go look for some more fuel. I'm always out of fuel. Maybe I should go to the desert and get some shale and make my own. And so, so I get my new headset today, and I also got the new Spider-Man game for my PlayStation and a new controller for my PlayStation. And we got a new modem, so the modems are all split the way we want them. We'll see if that helps the internet situation at all. And so I set up the internet for everybody, and then I was fiddling around trying to get my networked lights and stuff working again because I switched passwords. I just figured it would be easiest to unplug everything from the network if I just unplugged everything from the network via password. So now I gotta go around and, enter the new password into everything, and so that was a big hassle. And because apparently they didn't save my account at either place. Is this shale? Yeah. And so I had to start new accounts, which meant I had to try and remember without instructions how to set back up my... Because if it had remembered my accounts, then I could have just logged in. But it didn't remember my accounts, so now I can't log in with the new I can't log in with the new password because it doesn't remember who I am, which is stupid. Like, I've been using these lights for a year or more now, and somewhere in that last year they cut out my account. So I signed up the new account. I figure out how to link it with my Amazon account so I can hook it back up to the beast over here, and then that way she can run the lights. I don't want to say her name. And so that's all working. And then that takes forever. And Spider-Man is like, oh yeah, I got the Game of the Year edition with all the DLCs, but you know what? There's like an 18 gigabyte patch first. So I played a little bit of it without patching, because sometimes you can get away with that. And so I did play through the first boss, Wilson Fisk. Pretty fun so far. I mean, I like Spider-Man games usually, anyways. And so this one did look like it was going to be fun. The footage for the Miles Morales Spider-Man for the PlayStation 5 made me want to play it. So then oh dang it. I thought that might happen, but I was hoping it would just stay there. I was hoping it would hang on the... Really? Really, Axe? I didn't let go just at the right second to stop the... I imagine in my head, right, that you gotta hold down the button, but really you just gotta press the button. So I get all that situated, and then I play the Spider-Man for a little while, and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna set up my headset now. Because, I mean, how hard can it be to set up a headset, right? Ha ha ha. And this one doesn't even have, like, drivers or anything. You just plug it in. So I plug it in. Alright. I'm like, everything sounds different because it's a different kind of headset. And then, it's not 7.1 surround sound like I had before. I really should have done a little more research, because there's a new model, I think... It's hard to tell because they don't number things. Like this is the 600. I think I should have bought the 550. And I may go back out and buy the 550 anyways. And so then I started up. I'm like, okay, it sounds fine for what it is. Uh, but then I test record, right? And it's awful. It's awful. Uh, it picks up all the sounds. Like there's birds outside my window chirping. I can't even hear them, but the microphone is picking them up. And worst of all, there's this horrible hum in the background. And I think, oh, it must be my air conditioner, right? So I turn off my air conditioner. It's still there. I'm like, oh man, is it picking up like my fan on my PC? Because I can't shut that off. And so I'm like, no, I really can't. I really can't hear the PC fan, and it's not the same pitch or anything. And so I'm trying everything. I swapped from the front to the back ports. No change. I turned the microphone down. I turned the microphone up. I unplugged and replugged in the microphone. I moved cables. Just trying everything because my other microphone didn't have a hum to it. And I can't get this hum to stop. So then my nephew comes down and he's like, yeah, my mom is trying to print. Where do I get the stuff from the printer? I'm like, ooh, I haven't set the printer up to the network yet. And so I fiddle around with my headset a little more, no luck. And I go over, and when I'm standing at the printer, I can hear what sounds like the noise I'm hearing. And I'm like, oh, it's so sensitive, I think, that it's picking up the motors in my VR lighthouses. And I'm like, that's insane. And so I jump on and tell I tell I've just had them running. It said you can just leave them running, and so I just left them running. It wasn't doing anything, just sitting there doing its thing. And because you can set it up so that they shut all the way down, and then it just takes longer for them to turn on when you're first getting started. And then there's a sleep mode that turns off the laser but leaves the motors running, and I'm like, the hum is definitely the motors spinning around. And so I'm like, can't do that. So I told to shut all the way down. So they're shut all the way down now. They'll come back on when I go to play VR. Alright, so now I'll go home with this shale. I've never actually made gas in like ages, so I don't know what the recipe is. So I get back on, I do some more recording, I listen to it. There's still a horrible hum in the background. And so I'm seeing how low I can turn the microphone and still get sound out of it. To the point where I could increase the decibels in editing. And nothing I do gets rid of this stupid hum in the background. And so I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I see somebody posted that they had problems with their headset microphone having static. And no matter what they did, there was static until they plugged it in to an external sound card. I'm like, alright. So I plug back in the USB sound card for my old headset. No hum. There's no hum. And the headset and microphone both are louder than they've ever been. That's a lot of gas. Why have I been running around breaking down cars for gas? That's 12,000 gas. Or was that 120,000 gas? I think that was 12,000. 12,000 gas. Like, that's insane. So, yeah. So now here we are. It's still super, super sensitive. And I didn't hear the dog's bark coming through it earlier, but I did have to turn off my air conditioner, which I don't like, but what else are you going to do? You know? And so there is that. Oh, right, food. There was something else in that hole. Oh, speaking of air conditioners. So the air conditioner I have, I talked about this, is small. It's not tiny, it's just smaller than this room needs. And so the first year I had it, it worked okay. And the second year I had it, it worked almost okay. But when it gets hot, like today, when the temperature gets above, when the temperature gets up above 80, 85 degrees, somewhere in there, it no longer will work. It just runs and runs and runs and runs until the compressor shuts down. And so can't keep ahead of the heat. So it's too small for this room. It's not that it doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't blow out cold air. It's that it's too small for the size of this room. So I ordered a new one. And the new one is being shipped by Fragile Pack. Now, I don't think I've ever had anything ever delivered from Fragile Pack. It's awful. I mean, this is my one experience so far with Fragile Pack, right? So you go on their website. They don't tell you how to contact them. There isn't a spot that, like, they gave me instructions, and I go to do the instructions. There isn't a spot on their website to online schedule your delivery like they told me to. So the power went out, right? And so I think they tried to call while the power was out, and I had no phone. I think is what happened. And the first time, or they just didn't call me because the phone number and email address were not my phone number and email address, but they might have been like fake phone numbers and email addresses that Amazon gives them. And so I thought maybe that is what it was. And then get out of here, little bug. I don't want you getting in my big glass of cold lemonade I got here for when I'm done recording. And so whoa. So I'm like, oh man, they didn't get, oh, that didn't even fill up my thing. 12,000 seemed like a lot, but 2,000 wasn't even enough to fill up my guy. All right, that's plenty. I'm gonna go out and maybe head back and dig up some more, I guess. So I'm like, oh, so I missed them. I'm like, all right, I'll go online. So I go online. I enter my tracking information. My tracking information. Oh, no. It was supposed to be here on the 9th, which was last Friday. It did not get here. So I tracked it. And when the tracking comes up, it says, tried to contact you on June the 10th. No, actually, it was supposed to be here 2 Fridays ago. Tried to contact you on June the 10th, I think, was the first time they tried to contact me. Supposed to be here on June the 9th, which wouldn't be a Friday, now that I think about it. And I ordered it in May, but like May 27th. I forgot to watch for my little mine on the side of the road. It's under a tree. not that tree. Must be over this hill here. And so somewhere in there, anyways, I checked it, and it said we tried to contact you at I don't remember exactly what it said because they're in California, and so the time is 3 hours different, and I don't remember what they said in the first one. So I didn't get any message. I didn't get any message. It didn't go to my answering machine, right, or anything like that. And so it said, if you have inquiries, email us at inquiries, at blah blah blah. So I email them. I don't get a reply on Thursday. I don't get a reply on or whatever day I set that thing up. I don't hear from them. And so I go back to the site and it says, you cannot currently... Oh, this is what happened. Sorry, I got a little confused in my story there. So I tracked it, and on the tracking page, it has a spot to schedule your delivery for online. I'm like, okay, well, if they couldn't contact me, I can at least, schedule my delivery online. And so I go ahead and I should use another point in motherload, right? Make sure I get all the stuff I can. And so so I fill out the information for scheduling my delivery online. And it's stuff like, what's the nearest crossroad? Can a 13-foot tall truck fit down your driveway? Is your road wide enough that a truck could turn on your road? That kind of stuff. And so I'm like, yeah. I live on a highway, not a highway, but I live on a main state road. My driveway is pretty clear over top of it. They'll be able to get in fine. So then the next day I go back to check to make sure all that information we went through to see what day it might say that they're going to try and deliver it. So then it says, unable to schedule delivery online, check back later. Or if you have any inquiries, email us at this address. So I email them at the address. I'm like, yeah, this is who I am. The information wasn't my information. I changed it to my information. I filled out the online thing. I'm good for whatever date and time, whatever. And so it comes back up that I can track online again. I didn't hear from them though, or schedule online. So I go back through the thing. It's the same information. And then as soon as I enter it, it says, we need to contact you about this delivery. And that's all it says. And then the next day when I go back, they still haven't contacted me. And it says, we're unable to schedule this delivery online. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I email the seller. I'm like, hey, I switched some information online because it wasn't my actual information. I don't know if I screwed this up, but could you please check with the shipper to make sure that they got my information? Because they're not responding to me because maybe they think that I'm not the person that's, got the package being delivered to. And so then yesterday I get an email from the or not an email. I get a message on my answering machine. Before I get out of bed, they call. They called at 6:47 a.m. All right. I'm not awake at 6:47 a.m. Actually, I think it was 9:47 a.m. because it's 3 hours difference. I'm not awake at 9:47 a.m. And so they left a message, and it said, this is Fragile Pack. You can go online at Fragile Pack PAK and schedule your delivery online. Just use your pro number, they call it, your tracking number. And so I go online. There is no place on their website where it says schedule your delivery online. So I track it again, and where you track it is the only place I can find that says schedule delivery online. So I'm like, okay, this is what they gotta mean, but they did not tell you in the message on the answering machine that this is where you had to go. So I do that, and then as soon as I do it, it says we need to contact you regarding this shipment. I get it. I am rural. I am not near their delivery place. Right? And so they are going to have to make a special trip up here probably to deliver my air conditioner that I ordered almost a month ago. And so I don't hear anything back from them. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to call them. Or no. Then I get a reply from, this is what, I get a reply from the shipper. The not shipper, the seller. And so the seller says, according to the records, they've tried to contact you twice. I'd already told the seller that they couldn't, that the number they used the first time did not come to my house. And so the seller just said, they've tried to contact you twice, according to their records. They're only going to contact you one more time, and it's going to be shipped back to our warehouse. You can contact them at this number. I'm like, okay, well, that's the same number that's on the site. I would have expected to get the site, the number for, the location in my state instead of clear across the country, but whatever. So I call them today. So I went online. I did the whole set up your shipment online thing last night. It didn't work. It said the same thing again. We need to contact you. So now I'm worried because if they're only going to take one more call and then send it back, well, then I've wasted a whole month, haven't I? And so plus now that it's hot out, it's going to be harder to get an air conditioner because that's how it works. I tried to order it when it wasn't hot. Figuring I could, I knew I was going to need one. I knew the one I've got wasn't going to cut it. I mean, it works okay if you're okay with being slightly hot, but I don't want to be slightly hot. And so, I mean, if I was in a smaller room, like if my bedroom had a window, I would put it in my bedroom without a second thought. My bedroom doesn't have windows though, so I can't quite fit it in there. And so, I call them today, and I'm waiting on hold, and it keeps saying, now I've never received a reply back from the email I sent them. It keeps saying, if you want a faster response than waiting on hold, please email us at inquiry@fragilepack.com or whatever it says. I'm like, isn't that the address I already used once that they never responded to? And so I wait on hold. Finally, after like 30 or 40 minutes of being on hold, I get a person, and they say to me, yes, we don't have any assets available in your area at this time. I cannot schedule a date and time to make this delivery. I'm like, what? When assets become available in your area, we will attempt to contact you again. This is a delivery company. I understand that I'm not in your normal delivery area, but you should be able to look on your schedule and go, oh yeah, it'll be 2 weeks from Tuesday will be the next time we have a truck in your area. What do you mean you don't have any assets available and you can't schedule a date and time for my shipment? What does that even mean? I'm not happy about it. I will not shop at a seller now who's going to use Fragile Pack to deliver something. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I've had other things shipped here using other, non-standard shipment companies. I've never had an issue like this before. I can't fathom that they need to contact me about my shipment, which they told me to schedule online. And then when I schedule online, it tells me they need to contact me. So I contact them, but the contact is, we don't have any assets in your area. So yesterday morning, you called to set up a shipment for. When were you gonna ship that? Because I can't imagine it was on the truck for that afternoon. And I'm just like, look, I've already been told that you guys are going to contact me one more time before you ship it back. I sent an email to that same email address that I have yet to receive a response from. And and they're like, I'm like, I don't care what date and time you're going to bring it to my house. Just let me know. I work from home. I'll be here. But I might not be awake to take a phone call if you don't let me know ahead of time when you're going to contact me. Uh, and I already told you once that email is probably the best way to contact me because people don't answer the phone here. So, yeah, who knows if I'm ever going to manage to get this air conditioner. But it's super frustrating to have a delivery company tell me they don't know when they'll be able to deliver in my area. What kind of scheduling system do you have that you don't know when your truck is going to be in my area? We don't have any assets available. I mean, what are you doing? Calling Uber? I don't understand. I just. Is it like we don't know when an actual shipment worth our time is going to be in your? This is what it probably is. They're waiting for a shipment that's going to have enough things on board the truck to make it worth their while to come up here. But my air conditioner alone is not worth the effort to come up here, which makes you an even worse shipping company. Why take the job if you're not going to do the job? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. Alright, well, hopefully this recorded okay. Like I said, new sound, new recording, much more sensitive mic, I'm pretty sure. Definitely, like usually I record, it's set to 90. Right now this is set to 20 because I'm trying to cut down on the amount of sound it picks up. And I already had to shut off my air conditioner. So, alright with that. Be better in the small things, lean into the light, and I will talk to you later.